Welcome to CBAN Member Spotlight. I'm Curtis Dean with Community Broadband Action Network, and we're excited to have one of our newer associate members on our Member Spotlight today. This is Murphy Communications, and my honor to introduce to you Brandy, who is the marketing marketing lead for Murphy Communications, and Eli and Joe are well, they're the guys that actually do stuff. No offense, Brandy, but these are the guys that probably are out there making things happen in the field. So thank you guys all for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Curtis.
So maybe start with you, Brandy. Give us kind of a 30,000 foot overview about Murphy Communications and what all that you guys do.
Yeah, Murphy Communications is an underground construction company. So we specialize in electric and fiber installation for municipalities, ITCs, ISPs, and all of the major carriers across the Midwest, actually. So I'll let Joe and Eli talk a little bit more about some of our specific service offerings.
Yeah, so drill down a little bit, guys. Let's go down from 30,000 feet to maybe 10,000 feet. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, we do horizontal directional drilling, cable plowing. We have a utility locating services, just really anything in the fiber power construction world that's underground.
Great.
We're able to take on pretty much projects of any size at this point now with the equipment that we have available. So
yeah.
So you guys have multiple crews with their own gear that can go out and do projects large and small, it sounds like.
Yep, absolutely. You betcha.
So maybe talk a little bit about the history of Murphy Communications. I knew back in the day, knew it as Murphy Tower, and you guys have continued to grow your mission. So maybe talk about how it all, there must have been somebody named Murphy involved here.
Yep, that would definitely be our founders there. So Murphy Communication was actually founded in 2016 under the Murphy Tower Service umbrella. And it was originally created to eliminate the need for subcontractors for all of our tower work. Mm-hmm. But since then, since 2016, Eli and Joe and the guys have really been able to get their own independent projects. So they operate as an independent business unit outside of the tower industry and have all of their own customers at this point. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything else on that one, but we also have Murphy Network and Murphy Electric too. And our three owners are Pat Murphy, Clyde Murphy, and Lynn Murphy, who are all siblings.
And
that's where the
Irish.
Murphy name comes from.
I would say all Irish, probably, right?
You can have to ask them, but they seem like Irish people.
Well, I'm not wearing green today, but to honor them, but that's okay. So you guys, you mentioned that you provide services all over. I know you're based in Carlisle, Iowa, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So your company is based in another CBAN member. The city of Carlisle is a member of CBAN, a community member. But you do work primarily across the Midwest. Do you go to the East Coast, West Coast? Where do you guys go? Wherever the work is?
So I'd say we're pretty well in a good portion of the Midwest. So we got our main office here out of Carlisle, and then we also have an office out of Fairfax over by Cedar Rapids.
Okay.
That's also an office for our comms division. So they kind of over there take care of the whole east side of the state. And then here out of Carlisle, we'll do basically central Iowa, and we go out west. But as far as Midwest goes, and we just finished up a big project down in Kansas. We do work in Nebraska. We did a decent sized project over in Illinois, Wisconsin. So we're kind of all around the Midwest here.
So how many crews do you have out right now on different jobs?
Right now we have 4 crews out. We have 5 directional drills, and then we have a big mainline plow to do cable plowing on bigger projects. And then we have a drop plow to do services to houses. And we have a whole line of different capabilities with the different machinery that we have. So
super.
And another thing we're trying to do right now is move down to the south. Obviously, that is where Murphy Tower Service. We've opened up another office around Nashville, Tennessee. So really having these other business units under the Murphy Tower Service umbrella kind of following our primary company. And as everyone is aware, we can't really keep these drills busy year round with the weather that we have here in Iowa. So trying to get some of those drills down to the south, obviously, so they can be running year round is another initiative that we're working on right now.
That seems to be a real something that a lot of outside plant project companies do. They start in the north in the spring and then try to fill their project schedule up so that they're working through the winter down where they can do that.
You can actually do it, yeah, for sure.
Who knows? Maybe someday you'll be able to do that in Iowa if things continue with the trends that we are now. Or
Right.
it'll be too hot in the South to work even in the winter. Who knows?
Yeah,
Uh,
no kidding.
yeah, no, that's great. So you guys moving on and working on any projects right now that, you know, in the Midwest here that maybe communities or companies that people might recognize, or even any maybe potentially some CBAN members that you're working with?
Yeah, so earlier this year we did a Indianola Municipal Utility NOFA 7 project. That was the second NOFA project we've done for them in the last 2 years.
Great.
Currently doing a Messina telephone project in Atlantic right now.
Mhm.
It's our second one in 2 years as well for them. We have constant work with IMON out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa City area.
Yep.
And also iVinton as well. We do a lot of their house drops as
Oh,
well.
super.
Yeah. And
Well,
another big one too, I forgot, we're working with Mahaska Communication Group right now in Pella. That'll be a 3-year project for us, hopefully. So,
super.
yeah.
Well, you just hit on quite a few that I'm very familiar with. That is the Messina project. Are they actually building fiber in Atlantic?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, great.
This-
Well,
this
Atlantic's
year-
been one of those communities been waiting for a good provider to come in and serve them for a long time. So that's great to hear.
Good.
Fantastic to hear. So obviously we're here, we're recording this in early August. So if people are watching this later, they'll understand why we're talking about the construction season, but we are heading in toward the tail end of the Midwest construction season here over the next 3 to 4 months. As you guys are moving forward now, not only with this year's construction season, but knowing that there are these other projects that are going to be coming down the pike from federal funding through BEAD, you know, what are some of the challenges that you're facing as a company that does this kind of work, you know, as you look at these other projects that are going to be coming?
Yeah, I'm sure this is true for everyone in the construction industry, but hiring right now is tough for everybody, I think. That's been a big struggle for us this year.
Yeah.
Lead times, I think, coming out of COVID for new equipment, just trying to build new crews, we're going to need new equipment. So lead times are pretty extended on all that kind of stuff too. So we have to be strategic in how we plan everything.
It is quite difficult to plan ahead for bringing on new employees and timing that so that when they start working, you actually have equipment for them to operate and things for them to do.
Right.
I think that that's an often underappreciated part of the type of work that you guys do and others that are in your business is you don't get to decide most of the variables about your work. You're reliant on other people that are doing projects, or in this case, funding streams coming down to help you with those projects. So that's a tough one.
Yeah, and we always try to position ourselves as, you know, we're going to be good stewards of that grant money that comes through. Obviously, it's important for us, and our company always lobbies for this, that grant money that's coming in from the state and federal levels, like that they're staying in the state. So if it's state funding here in Iowa, that hopefully they're staying here and they're using Iowa contractors as well. So that is a big pitch for us too.
I would imagine that that's a good selling point, right? Because you guys are not the largest company out there. You know, you've got companies that have a nationwide footprint with dozens and dozens of crews, and they'll come from anywhere. But on the other hand, they're here and gone, whereas you guys have a presence in the state of Iowa and elsewhere that, you know, is going to be consistent long-term commitment to those areas.
Yeah, we're for sure always pitching that. It's always sad to see. Sometimes, obviously, you'll see the bid results and watching other companies who we won't name come in and underbid it, and then obviously taking, you know, state money in our opinion. So
yeah,
that's definitely a big point for us.
So let's talk a little bit about labor, because that is, like you said, every industry, every angle of this industry, and most of the trades are having the same issues right now, which is finding people that want to do these types of jobs, which are well paying, but are not, you can't do it remotely like me sitting here in a desk, you know, in my office, in my house. What are some of the workforce development strategies that you have tried to bring those people in? And are you targeting young people? Or are you targeting people that are just looking for a career change, or is it pretty much all of the above?
Definitely the younger generation, I would say we're targeting. And for us, it's really just going out to some of these career fairs and notifying them of our industry, whether that be tower climbers, and saying, hey, we can cross train you. You can also work on a drill in addition to climbing towers and doing some of that. And it's really just an educational standpoint. I think when people come out of school, they're maybe just not aware of our industry. So, Eli and Joe, do you have any thoughts on that in addition? Like, where do you typically see the most success for hiring?
I think you kind of hit it. Just bring awareness to the younger generation of what we do and that it is a well-paying job, but you're going to have to get dirty doing it.
So are your new hires generally people that have been, say, through a program somewhere? I know we have some technical or trade schools in the Midwest that focus on telecommunications, or are they people that are maybe in a different trade and switching positions, or a combination of those?
Definitely seen an increased number of people who are actually going through some of the schooling for it than we had in the past. So that's been really nice to see. Otherwise, it's typically just construction individuals from other industries kind of starting to find out about us a little bit.
Yeah, I would imagine that if you've been in the trades for a while and you're looking for a change, that maybe seem like it's not a change that would be in your wheelhouse until you look into it and realize if you're a problem solver, you can work in this industry. And if you like solving problems, then a telecommunications career, whether it be construction like what you guys are doing, or installers, or network operator, whatever, there's plenty of opportunities there. And I don't know, I agree with you. I don't think a lot of young people really still appreciate that there are great careers out there that don't require a $150,000 4-year liberal arts degree.
Oh, for sure. It's crazy. And we are a family-owned business, as I mentioned already as well. So we make sure that every crew, gets to spend the weekends at home and obviously all that good stuff too that we're promoting, which isn't always a common thing in the construction industry.
Very true. Very true. Unless you send them to Texas in the winter, and then they
yeah, I'll do that.
But that's okay. That keeps them busy and employed, because I know unemployment in the winter is a big challenge in some of the trades, especially construction here in the Midwest, where, and some people are just, that's kind of become their lifestyle, as they work their butts off for 8 months or 9 months, and then they're not doing anything for 3 months, or they take a side gig while they're collecting unemployment or whatever. So, if you guys can, follow the work, so to speak, that's obviously a great benefit for people that are looking to stay working all the time.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing a ton of interest, just inbound leads for people looking for jobs, because the tower industry, as a lot of people are probably aware, is really down right now. They're kind of calling it like the halftime of the 5G build out when it comes to the cellular towers. 2022 was super hot and heavy, and then now we're kind of experiencing a lull. And then hopefully things pick back up again here in Q4 into 2024 as well. But educating those individuals who are potentially getting laid off from other companies, major carriers, that, hey, we may not have positions available right now for tower climbers, but we do have these positions available in our communications business division.
Yeah, and that could be, that would be a natural transition for a lot of those folks. And, you mentioned the kind of the lull time right now with tower stuff. I would imagine we're going to see more on the, we're talking about 5G deployment. Obviously, there's going to be more of that coming and whatever follows that. But we also have the potential for some of the BEAD monies that are going to be coming down to be serving some of these very rural areas, not with underground fiber, but potentially with fixed wireless services, and you need new structures for that. So.
Yeah, there's a ton of opportunity for our company, being pretty diverse in what we can do, underground and obviously wireless as well. So all of the funding that's coming out right now, NOVA 8, the BEAD funding, the middle mile funding, RDOF funding, I'm sure is still out there, is all obviously huge potential for us.
So what happens to a company like Murphy when all that money runs out?
That's a great question for Pat, Lynn, and Clyde. We are fairly diversified right now, and obviously we've been in business as a Murphy Tower Service since 2004, and they have experienced 2008 the downturns there, and just a lot of tough times, COVID years, and we've kind of learned just diversity is key for sure.
Well, I kind of asked that question a little bit facetiously because I've asked that question to others, and I think I answer it and say, well, even after the big wave of funds maybe are expended, there's still going to be projects, there's still going to be maintenance, there's still going to be rebuilds, there's still going to be other types of work that are going to be funded through private dollars or provider dollars, not necessarily public dollars, but there'll still be a lot of work, and somebody's got to help maintain those, do line extensions, that sort of thing. So,
And surprisingly enough, a lot of the work that we're doing right now still is not even grant funding.
oh yeah, I believe that. I believe that because I look at too, there's going to be, there are a lot of previous generation networks that are going to be needing rebuilt over the next few years. We have some municipalities in Iowa and elsewhere, some of our CBAN members who say are operating a hybrid fiber coax network that is kind of reaching the end of its lifetime and capacity. And, they're doing fiber to the home rebuilds where they're going to be in town where there are no grant dollars available, and they're going to be doing those rebuilds on a fairly regular basis. So,
yeah, for sure.
Great. Well, I just wanted to also throw out one other question. Maybe I'll turn to you on this, Brandy. We do appreciate Murphy being a member of CBAN. So maybe tell me a little bit about why you guys decided to become a member.
Yeah, well, when I first started here in the industry and Murphy Communications was about 8 months ago, and the primary thing that we were looking at, and for me, is to figure out what our customers are experiencing right now, especially from a marketing standpoint. You have to know what your customers are going through. And after finding CBAN and learning that there's a huge educational component for it, so whether it be the broadband bites that are weekly, that's been super helpful for us. And I actually send that out to the team quite a bit, forward it along, and say, hey, do you guys know this is happening? It's been very, very helpful just to know what our actual customers and prospects are dealing with right now. And I've been fortunate enough to attend a lot of the CBAN events since joining back in December. And not only are they obviously educational, but it's been a great opportunity for us to network with some of our current customers, in addition to obviously prospects as well. So for anyone that's considering joining as an associate member, we have found incredible value from it. And I would be remiss to obviously mention that Curtis himself is a huge, he's just super connected, very well connected. So he's a great person to have in your corner as well. And we appreciate all you've done. And I found myself emailing you the other day. I'm like, has middle mile funding come out yet? Just like, you just have so much knowledge on the industry and what's going on in the world of broadband that it's been a very, very beneficial membership for us.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, Brandy. That was not solicited, by the way. You just said that.
True,
So
I promise.
there is no exchange of dollars here to say nice things about me, but really, I mean, my role with CBAN is really the pivot point in between our different members who need to have communications with others in the industry. So, I mean, that's kind of my role. Is members call me or email me and say, hey, who do I talk to about this? And I can direct them in the right place. That's kind of one of the reasons why our membership, I think, is continued to grow is there's a value there for people like you, Brandy, or Eli or Joe, or anybody in the industry that are CBAN members that, they've got somebody they can talk to and is going to take the time to help them find the connection they need to find. So
yeah, that's 100% true. We really appreciate it.
You bet. And it's always great to see you at our events, Brandy. I'm sure we'll see you at our future events. We're doing a virtual summit this fall, so we won't see you in person, but we might see you on a computer screen. That'll be awesome.
We'll be there for sure.
Yeah. And Eli and Joe, it's great to talk to you today, and I'm sure we'll run into you down the line, and keep doing great work for those clients that you guys are working for, and for all the future ones that you are able to bring in.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Curtis. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Always great working with a good community-focused, and in your case, family-owned business that's doing good work. So our guests today have been Murphy Communications on this issue of Member Spotlight from CBAN. I'm Curtis Dean. Thanks for joining us.